Mm.
And we're live.
What's going on?
What's
We're
up,
back.
guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Outlier podcast. I don't know. It's probably number 26. I have no idea at this point.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, we recorded like so many already.
Yeah. Real quick to correct ourselves from an episode back or two, we had said that Brittany Griner was caught with, I believe, CBD oil. And
Mm.
according to Curly Cutie, I don't know who that is, honestly.
Shout out you, Curly Cutie.
It was a THC vape. So, yeah, thank you for correcting that. That's a big difference.
That's what it's meant for. Yeah, 100%. And that's what y'all are here for, man. Correcting us because we're just a couple of idiots, just
Yeah, speak for
talking
yourself.
about. Oh,
I'm
whatever.
a smart individual.
I think the listeners know that I'm the more intellectual one, huh?
Yeah, I mean, I guess we want. Anyways,
You're just the cute one.
nah. Anyways, we have two would you rather's this week. The first one comes from our good old reliable Esteban.
Esteban, thanks for following the Common Podcast on YouTube.
Yeah.
For subscribing.
He says,
Appreciate
would you rather have uncomfortable farts with sharts during sex and it happens for 5 years, or have explosive diarrhea and shit yourself in public and it happens for a week?
I'm taking, just based on the time, I'm gonna have to take the week.
Yeah.
100%, bro, because
Yeah.
like it's worse, explosively shitting yourself through, in public.
Mm-hmm.
But imagine taking
For 5 years.
5 years, taking a mamacita home and just
Yeah, fuck
Yeah?
all that. Mm-hmm. I picked the week. I'd rather go through a week of hell than 5 years of embarrassment, shame, and smelliness. Fuck all that.
I'll definitely make sure that I'm not gonna put myself in this for that week in a position where it's gonna be horrible. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna go to the mall and put myself where I am gonna crap myself at the mall. I'm gonna try
Yeah.
to stay home as much as possible. It's just a week.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, for sure. I would go with the week. Let us know what you guys would pick. I feel like most of you guys are gonna pick the week, just because of the whole time difference. The next one comes from Kool-Aid Mon, not man, Mon, MON.
Because Kool-Aid Man is kind of Hawaiian, right? Like he gives those
Kool-Aid
Hawaiian
Mon.
vibes.
Yes, sir.
It's Kool-Aid Man.
Would you rather get with a chick, or sorry, would you rather get with the 11 out of 10 chick, but she's into pegging, or a 8 out of 10 with an absolute awful personality?
Okay, so what is he? This is an important question. What does he mean get with? Does he mean hook up?
Yeah, so I don't.
Because if I'm just hooking up, I don't care about the personality.
Yeah, I think he means more like dating.
Dating.
Yeah.
Oh, my camera.
Well,
I can still talk though.
I'll answer first.
Yeah.
I think I would go with. No, well that's just dumb, right? I mean,
Don't you already get pegged though?
nah.
I heard a rumor you get pegged.
Hell no, I wish.
Well, here's your chance, partner.
Nah, hell no. I've actually heard a rumor about someone that I know that was into that, and apparently, he like accepts and acknowledges, like, yeah, and that's. I think if you have those tendencies, like if you're like you like shit near your ass, I think you might be.
Bi-curious.
Yeah, right. Because me as a straight man, I don't want anything near my ass. A pinky, a damn, a tongue, none of that bullshit.
Okay, here's my answer. This is a tough question, by the way,
I'm
for the listeners.
I'm going with the 8 out of 10. Awful personality.
I'm going 8 out of 10 because 8 out of 10 is still that's a high.
That's an
8 out of 10
person.
is a beautiful person, right? I'm gonna go with the 8 out of 10 as well because one, I'm not letting anything near my bum hole, And then, but it's a hard question because a sucky personality, like that's gotta suck because
Mm.
maybe the sex is good, but everything else, like your life's gonna be horrible. Um, but think about the 11 out of 10. That's also gonna be a lot of trouble too, right? Having an 11 out of 10,
That's not even
having
possible. That's not even humanly possible. Like,
right, but obviously talking about this guy's talking about like that 1% out of the chart woman.
Mm.
Everybody's gonna want this damn chick. And so that's just too much for me to be handling, right? Like I'm probably gonna have to make like 8 digits a year, and
Have a
you
big
know,
ass, grow your cock because it's too small.
yeah, yeah, nah, that's just too much to deal with. I feel like that's gonna end up being toxic as well for my mental. So I'll go
Yeah,
8 out of 10.
I rather deal with the awful personality. But I feel like if, for instance, if you if you're a good person with a good personality and you date someone with a horrible one, I feel like eventually you'll kind of rub off on them and they'll become more of a better they'll have more of your sense of humor, more of your personality.
You have to be a very strong-willed individual for that to happen because it's a lot easier to tap into horrible personality than it is the horrible person tapping into the better personality. It takes a very strong-willed person to like stay their ground and stay morally intact because what do they say? The bad the bad apple or the bad fruit in the basket turns the rest bad, right? That's very true. It's like you are a product of the people you surround yourself with. So you can have a good kid, but if he's growing up in a very bad neighborhood, he's gonna pick up a lot of these bad habits. It's a lot easier to do that than for that kid to turn other people good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, and it's not impossible, but I feel you on that.
But it
I'm
can happen, and I feel like I'm such a good person that they would have to adapt and evolve.
wow. What
But
do y'all
yeah,
think about that?
go ahead and let us know what you guys would pick, and again, comment for next week, and we'll put it in next week's episode. The next thing I want to talk about is this Texas nurse that killed 6 people, and I think injured one in an accident in L.A. And I like mentioning that she's from Texas because a lot of bullshit happens in L.A. So California gets a horrible rap. So it kind of softens the blow to know that she was from your state. How does that make you feel?
It actually proves that LA can do this to anybody, right? Because if it's gonna do it to a Texan person, it can really do it to just anybody. So I guess what we can kind of get out of what went on here is just don't move to LA. It's a horrible place. I mean,
Or we learned that people from Texas can't drive.
oh come on. I think everybody knows here that California and LA is just not it. Why do you think so many people are moving from California and LA? That's it.
Yeah, me and Roger have this thing where we talk shit about each other's states.
It's funny because I think it's just like pride, right? It's like our
because
like what we have for our country.
in reality, like I know California is kind of shitty in some ways, and you know Texas is kind of shitty in some ways. But the fact that you and I are like so, our ego's so huge that we're just like, nah, my place is better. And I think that's a very natural human thing that we do. Like,
100%.
I feel like everyone does that in some type of way, whether it's at like maybe even taking pride in your job or where you work, and like, oh, this place down the street is ass. Our store's way better, shit like that. If that makes sense. There's always those little minute ego things that come into play.
Yeah, I don't even think it's minute. I think it's embedded in us. We work in tribes, so we like to be a part of a tribe, and it doesn't matter if it goes against moral ethicality. We'll protect it to the death of it, right? You'll see like super conservative people that they don't even agree with some of the stuff, but just because they're conservatives or they're right wing, they're gonna protect it, right? It's like, come on, but. I guess that's one of our flaws, right? We're very egotistic, very patriotic to what we believe, and sometimes even though we know some things are faulty, we don't admit to it because that means that my tribe is weaker than what I would want it to be. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
we do that a lot.
Yeah, if you admit that something is imperfect, then you kind of in your head you're like, making it true that it's not as good as you think, you know? So
Yeah,
that's why we do that. But yeah, me and him have this thing where we always talk shit about each other's states. In reality, I actually really like Texas. I think it's a great place. And I feel like you like LA, or not LA, but California in some ways.
'Cause, oh yeah, 100%, bro. I appreciate everything. Like, I think that even though I wouldn't want to live in California, I think that every state would have like I would like to go to every state and just kind of like feel out what that type of culture has. You know what I mean? I feel like there's a place for everything.
Yeah,
So.
100%. I mean, I just came back from San Diego, and that was a really good experience. Not that it's in another state, but it makes me realize that I've kind of been in this bubble and only know this town and this cities around me, and I'm like, man, bro, like going to a new place and seeing these new restaurants, new people, new vibes, like different weather, even though it's in the same area, like it's crazy how different things can be. And I've never been someone that likes to travel, but now that I've had that experience of being in a whole different community, it's made me want to explore more and go outside of my comfort zone. So hopefully maybe
100%.
in the future I'll end up going to different places.
I heard this saying one time that says if you don't travel the world and you stay in your home city or like just in your home county, it's like picture your room as the world, but you only stay in your closet. You don't see anything else but just what's in your closet. Like that opened my eyes so much because it's so true. As soon as I step out of my county, it's totally different. Like when I went to California, it was totally different. There was a side of me that was kind of more, I don't want to say afraid, but just more aware of like my surroundings because I just felt like I wasn't safe, right? So I was like, man, like I have to be more aware of what's going on around me because I don't know what these people are.
Yeah. I know exactly what you mean because I felt the same way when I went to visit you in Texas. And that's just because I know that a lot of people have, like, everyone owns a fucking gun over there. And so that was a big factor in it. And then just the fact that, I don't know if this is true, right? But you hear a lot of people down there are racist. So that was always in the back of my head, who the fuck is this dirty ass Mexican? And they're going to shoot me in the head.
Definitely not where I live. So that's one thing too, is where I live, it's predominantly Hispanics. And I've gone my whole lifetime, and some of my friends have throughout their whole lifetime have not even experienced racism at all. But it does happen. Like in Texas, I'm sure far north or whatever. It's true, but I haven't seen it much.
Okay. With that being said, I want to talk. We were talking about we got so off topic. We were talking about the nurse that killed 6 people. So let me show that video to you guys. Here it is. If you guys haven't seen it, I don't know where do you live, but it's under a rock.
The video still hard to watch. Investigators say Nicole Linton was driving the Mercedes sedan when she blew.
As
right
you can
through
see,
a
she was
red
going
light,
so
colliding
fast
into
you can't even see the car.
The video
arrested.
It's
Marcelino
kind of
Pinto
hard to
has the
see
very
the
latest.
car.
The video still hard to
Boom.
watch. Investigators say Nicole Linton was driving the Mercedes sedan when she blew right through a red light,
That's insane,
colliding into multiple vehicles.
You know
in
what's
a
insane to
fiery
me is how did
explosion.
she live? How did she survive that, bro?
Yeah, so that makes no sense to me. I guess you're safer crashing head on than being hit from the side. I guess that makes sense, right? But the fact that she was going that fast and she survived, like they charged her with all types of murder charges and shit, and they wheeled her into her fucking court hearing, and she looked completely fine. Like her face wasn't like bruised up or swollen, nothing. Like she was like, she just looked like she just was in the middle of a recovery. Like it looks like she's gonna be fully functional again. And it's crazy that she didn't take much damage compared to the 6 people she killed, including, I believe, an infant, unborn baby. Sorry.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think it was a pregnant woman in the car. But yeah, I mean, fuck. Apparently, she's going through some mental thing where, I don't know, she couldn't handle leaving Texas. I don't know what the fuck. But
Nah,
yeah,
dude, it's definitely a shitty situation, dude. Come on, like the fact that she is, and here's the thing, not that I'm empathizing with her, but the thing is, she's not a murderer, right? Like she didn't go out and like I'm gonna kill these people, but she was the lack of discipline in her life to be like, man, I'm in a shitty situation. Instead of doing harm to herself, she went and put herself in a position where she was gonna put harm to other people, which rightfully so. Everything she got charged with, like it's harsh, but man, you can't go out there and put other people's lives in harm because you're going through something. I don't understand why people do that. So it sucks because it's not like she's a murderer, like she likes to practice murdering people, but at the same time, it's like you got to be responsible by all means and take account. You're not emotionally stable, so don't be doing like don't put other people's lives in harm, and that's exactly what she did. It's a shitty situation for both sides.
yeah. I mean, it's the same type of thing that you see in school shooters, right? They're unhappy, they're doing whatever, and they're going through something, and instead of dealing it dealing with it, throughout themselves, they take it out on people, which makes no sense to me. But yeah, so apparently she just was having a mental break or something and decided to drive. I forgot how fast she was going, but if you saw the video, you see how fucking fast. Like you can't even see the car. It's kind of like when it's transparent. Her car looks transparent because of how fucking fast she was going.
That and probably the camera was running off of like 40 frames per second.
Yeah. If you guys don't know anything about cameras, you don't get that reference. But
I think that's pretty well known already, though.
probably not.
It's super interesting because I was hearing a podcast with a couple of psychologists, and they were talking about mass or school shooters and people that set out to do harm to other people. And what typically they found was that these people are starved of attention, starved of validation from others.
They feel very invisible and very insignificant.
Yeah.
And so a lot of these school shooters, their goal is to make it on the news. Like, yeah. That's why it's very controversial when the news comes out and they put their names, right, of the shooters in the news feed, because a lot of people say you shouldn't do that because that kind of gives them what they wanted, And a lot of school shooters had came out and said, like, I did it because I wanted to be on the news. Like that's a motivating factor for them, apparently.
Yeah, and it's interesting because they were talking about it as in picture that little kid, that kid that gets ignored by their parents and they start to act very silly. They start to be troubled children to just try to get their parents' attention, right? Because it's like, if I'm not gonna get it doing the right things, I'm gonna do bad things. I'm gonna do outlandish things. That way they can, even if it's in a bad light, I want their attention. So if they're gonna have to get mad at me in order for me to get that attention, I'm gonna set out and do it. So they were talking about how important it is for parents to be attentive to their children and make sure that they're getting that type of validation, because if it keeps up, you're not gonna have a child throwing a tantrum. What you're gonna have is a school shooter, which is crazy, but it's interesting.
Yeah, well, that makes sense, right? If you're a parent and you're ignoring the good things or the simple things that your kids are doing, and you're not giving them attention for positive things, well, of course, naturally they're gonna be like, okay, well, that's not working. Let me try the opposite. Bust out the AK-47, and of course that's gonna happen,
Mag.
Yeah,
But like even so, like for fatherless kids, or bastard kids, right, where the father leaves them, what do you usually say? It's like, oh, they have daddy issues, right?
yeah.
So all male interactions after that is not what it would be if they had a healthy father figure the whole time. Same thing goes vice versa. If a mom leaves their child, what do they have? They have mommy issues, right? So every every relationship, every altercation with the female is going to look completely different than that person having a healthy relationship with their mother. All this kind of like ties into attention and validation.
Yeah, it's crazy to me how fucked up people could be, like or become just because of how little attention they got, or they were missing one parent and now they're just, or maybe they witnessed their parents physically fight and now they're stuck in this pattern of abusing their significant other. And it's just crazy how that works. Like, even though they know right from wrong, it's something that they grew up watching and knowing. So it's like, it's very like acceptable in their mind to be like, oh, well, my parents used to do it all the time. Like, it's not that big of a deal.
It's interesting too because they'll even choose sides, right? You'll see a lot of the kids hate on their fathers because like, oh, he mistreated my mom, right? Another thing that these psychologists were talking about were typically what you see is that kids love their moms when they're young. Because why? The moms are a lot more selfless. They love you unconditionally as opposed to fathers where they love you conditionally. If you do something good, the father's gonna like praise you for it. But if you do something bad, the dad's gonna be the disciplinaire. But with the mom, they love you unconditionally, right? Whether you do right or wrong, they'll get upset with you, but at the end of the day, it's like all hug, loves, and kisses, right? Where was I leading with this?
Generally.
Oh, but yeah, typically, right? But what they seen is that at the latter end of your life, like as the kids end up growing up, they tend to get a better relationship with their father. And why is because they realize that all that disciplinary action that they endured as a young kid actually paid off, right? So if the father wasn't setting rules and boundaries for the kid, it would look, their lives would look a lot different. And so they start to appreciate all those things at the older that they get. So all this to lead to this, that if, like what you said, the scenario of like a dad and mom are always arguing, if a child sees that, they're usually going to pick the mom side over the father's side because they're just a lot more attached to the mother side. And so there's like a demonization of men or fathers, right? It's like, oh, he was abusive, he was this, he was that, right? And they were talking about how parents shouldn't display these type of arguments and actions to their kids for this reason, because you still might get those daddy or mommy issues just by simply letting your kids watch you argue, right? That's why as a parent you should be mature on how you handle your emotions, mature on how you handle your arguments. Don't let those arguments go unattended, because if you let those arguments go unattended, they turn into huge arguments where, you know, they're going to be undeniable and the kids are obviously going to have to see it. It's super interesting, but yeah, that's a little bit of a rabbit hole.
Yeah, and so the reason I brought this up is because for a lot of you guys probably haven't heard of this because it wasn't a huge story, but I just randomly found it. Apparently, this girl that's a model ended up killing her boyfriend, allegedly, right? And so when I was kind of looking into this, the first thing I found was a video of her hitting this guy in the elevator. Have you seen this video, or did I send it to you, or no?
I'm literally looking at it right now.
Okay, so I'm gonna show it to you guys, and let's see if let me see. Okay, so this is elevator. Here she is, and like obviously very upset for some reason. Slaps him, pushes him again. Hits him, starts pulling his hair, and he's kind of just blocking, protecting himself.
Puts him in a chokehold.
Yeah, look, and she just won't quit. And at some point, right? I think any man at some point you're gonna get fed up, right? So he kind of like he's getting pissed now. So of course he's gonna push her, right? See, yeah. Honestly, I'm surprised he didn't do more.
He should have done more. He would have been alive right now.
Yeah, if after all those punches you gotta push her ass down or something.
TikTok.
Nah, bro,
trends
I'm telling
don't
you
apply
right now,
to you.
bro.
Well, depends.
You do that to me, bro? I'm hitting with the.
Nah, yeah, bro. That shit I hate when
Just kidding, guys.
when women do that, when I see that, because that guy could have fucking absolutely knocked her ass out in one punch.
Yep.
And he has, good thing he has respect, and just kind of held himself back, right? Sadly, he ended up dying, I believe, that same night, and it's looking like she did it. So right now she's being charged with that, and they're going through a whole investigation, and yeah, man, that's sad. That guy lost his life to an abusive partner, and she was some type of model or something, so her life's fucking over. Rightfully so, thankfully, because you don't need people like that. I wonder how many people she's done that to. Like, all her past partners probably have similar experiences to that, right? Like,
Yeah, she gives me Amber Heard vibes.
oh yeah. I guarantee you, she's like playing the victim right now in the fucking interview room, right? Like, oh, he's mean to
Bro,
me. You
all
know?
he had to do was just knock her out and just identify as a woman. Like, he would have got away with it in today's days and age.
Yeah, I mean, that's very true, right? If he just
Right.
boom.
All he had to do was show up to court, put his dick and balls in between his legs, and just say he's a girl.
Yeah.
Fair game.
Yeah, but I still have no updates on that. Apparently, it's an ongoing investigation, and hopefully she gets fucking life in prison, because I wonder how she killed him. I feel like
stabbing, right?
I don't know. I didn't read too far into it, but I would imagine it was a very cowardly thing, right? Like, he was probably asleep, or not paying attention. She caught him from the back or something, right?
She was an OnlyFans model.
Oh, really?
That's a red flag right there, bro. Why does she even have a boyfriend?
Yeah. Why the fuck would you date someone like that? But yeah, bro, that's
Honestly,
fucking sad.
that's on him, bro.
Nah, bro, that's
She's an OnlyFans model, bro.
yeah, but come on, bro, that's super fucking popular nowadays to sell your fucking body, because it's the easy thing to do.
I had a conversation with somebody, and she said that she'd be willing to like do OnlyFans. And she's like, "Yeah, I have a friend that she makes bank off of it." And I was like, "Damn, for real,
Bro?"
She's
But
like, yeah, I was
you-
thinking about it, but I talked myself out of it.
You sell, like, your reputation is fucked for the rest of your life. Not only yours, but your kids. If she goes and has a kid, imagine how bad that kid's gonna get bullied. Imagine. Like, you and I, like, if you're a male, you grew up around going to school and being around other men. It's very toxic. You cannot give a little show of weakness, or you'll be fucking absolutely swallowed into the beast of masculinity, toxic masculinity. And imagine if you know, she has a kid, that kid's gonna get fucking bullied, right? Like, oh, your mom. Look at this picture of your mom. You know, like, fuck, bro, that's tough. And that's what women don't think about, bro. It's like,
Yeah.
you're fucking over your kids. Like, that's embarrassing, man.
I knew a kid that his dad dated another kid's mom, and he threw this card. Oh, my dad fucked your mom.
Yeah,
bro. Game over, bro.
Yeah.
And you just imagine, like, if your mom's a porn star.
Oh,
Game
God.
over,
Yeah, bro.
Game over.
I'm sure most people agree with us that that's like, you got ammunition forever, infinite ammo. Like, yeah, bro, just fucking quit life at that point. You're fucked. You're fucked. You'll never ever win an argument, ever. Oh yeah, well, that's why your mom was getting fucked on OnlyFans or whatever, you know? Like, it's G's, bro. Just give up. That's sad, man. That's sad. Well, yeah. This girl, you said she was an OnlyFans girl?
OnlyFans model. That's what it says here.
Yeah.
Sold exclusive content.
Well, if you're doing OnlyFans, you probably have something wrong in your head already, right? Because
Yeah, that's what-
you don't think that far ahead. You don't really value your body or
I
your
think
reputation. So something's wrong with you.
I think there's a lot of people prone. Well, I think everybody's prone to impulsive action, but I think a lot there's people that lack discipline and act more impulsively than others, right? So I think people that do things like OnlyFans, they only think about themselves at that moment.
Yeah, they don't think about the future. They don't give a fuck, you know. Easy
Yeah.
money. What? I don't respect people like that. And man, I was gonna say something about this whole situation. Oh, if you are a male who finds himself in a toxic relationship like this, take this as a sign, bro. Do not stick around in that, because I guarantee you this wasn't the first time this guy was getting hit. You know, that because he looks very like he's not shocked. He's not shocked. He's not like, whoa, what are you doing? He's like, he's kind of like, oh, it's time to defend myself. Like, let me grab your head. Let me, you know. So this was obviously an ongoing thing. So he should have left that relationship a long time ago, and maybe he would still be alive. You know. And that's sad, bro, that she fucking took it that far as to.
That's kind of like what we saw with the whole Johnny Depp thing, right?
Yeah.
This is why I blame Johnny Depp a lot for what happened to him.
For sticking around, right?
I'm glad he won the case, rightfully so. But at the same time, it's like, bro, you have a fault in it too. You saw all these terrible, toxic traits from her. Just walk away.
Yeah.
But he didn't. So, yeah.
All right, guys. Well, with that being said, we're going to go ahead and end this episode here. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Make sure you drop a like, subscribe if you haven't already, and comment a would you rather for next week. And we'll be sure to put it in the beginning of next week's episode. Anything else you want to add?
Yeah, guys, make sure you go check out the Common Podcast on YouTube, Spotify, anywhere else that you can find audio streaming platforms. And Instagram is going to be The Real Common Podcast. I appreciate all of y'all following me on those socials. Thank you all.
All right, we'll see y'all next week. Peace.